Morning. Nearly had their feed for today. It's Wednesday, back to Wednesdays at last, the 31st of July. And for me, because it's Wednesday and I've got the day off, it's bud taking time. They've really marched on this last few days. I think it was Friday. Last Friday I was last filming here, or last here for the day. I took the kiwis down to their numbers 8s, I've been told. And there's one or two buds just starting to form or be in there, just in there. Not masses, but I didn't want loads early. I don't think it's going to be any good early. This is the late batch of dark dyeing, which some previous tests have shown that it might be a lot of win almond amongst there as well. But they're thinking about budding. They're not yet, but I don't mind, because we're yet to go. I mean, today Winholm, which is over there, 60 buds, dark dyeing, 80 buds, so 80 from these two beds. I don't think I'll get 60 from the Winholm which are there, which are not that right, so I'll take a few more from here. This bed I could probably take pretty much a bud in nearly every stem of these bigger plants, so I'll easily make the numbers. In fact, buds like this, which I did a video last year about knocking back, I shall knock that back to a side bud or a side shoot. There's a Winholm, so there's a few buds just coming, but not many. Perhaps it will hold them back to really just use the other one, dark Winholm, whatever it might be. For early, I don't need 80 plants dying for the first show. One variety will do. The giants are still slow. Managed to secure about 8 or 9 buds, but I mean they're in there. There's a bud in there just. So I don't think I'm going to miss the shows, but I would think probably Kent National will be the main flush on these, including the bed behind me. The Marys, this bed was intended to be the one that's a week in front of the other, and it is. Again, these buds won't be secured, I just left them. I might go to something like that if I need to, but I will go through and take the natural buds first, because this second bed is also starting to just bud up for the first time. So I'll tend to take those ones first, and I need a number of, looking on my sheet, 120. And then if I get that from normal natural buds like this one again, which is one that's been previously knocked back, I shall then take these back after. And there's Trisha. Turn the radio off. There's Trisha. I was fearing this lot not coming in time. Bear in mind this is a large semi, so it's going to take a little bit longer. A bud like that, or slightly bigger, will be what I'll be taking, and that's off the ones that I've grown out of the ground. The ones I've done as a sort of backup, I've had to do a lot of knocking back on those on nearly every stem, and I'll probably just let them roll on if I find enough from the others. Sandia Gold, I've been knocking buds back. This is one of the few very healthy plants, and I have secured a bud. I just want to see what it looks like on a decent plant, because I can see many of them. I've seen those, the rest of the Marys, this is the rest of the giants. I'm not happy with the health of the Louis, the Aggie and the Bryn. This is mostly Bryn with a few Louis. Look good, but the Louis looks a little bit patchy. Bit up and down on the softer gleam, but I think the ones that are up are too far in advance, and the ones that are down should just quite nicely make the national. And the same with the Skelmersdale. I've had a little dink in here. Again, I've sort of give myself 2 options if I need it. But they're alright, they're all going to flower within show time. And the poms, we went through and pinched those back last week. and the first of the buds are just starting to show, and I tend to wait until about 20 days before first show, and I'll go through them as a lot and just take out any big buds down to smaller buds and start disbudding from there on. So we're good. They really are motoring along. People have asked me about feeding, what am I feeding? The hard bit is how. This is not that product inside the yellow tub. For the miniatures, I tend to put one good scoop per can. It goes in to a little bit of water that's already in there. Give it a sloosh and then fill it up. And normally I'm doing this for 2 cans. Then we have a walk. Let's see, 1 can, 1 in hand. And this is one of the first rows on the plot, so it gets further as you go down there on the plot, and pour. I'm roughly counting to 5. This time here it's 1 can between 3 plants. Don't get it all over the foliage because it will scorch if you have a bit of residue on it. And that's 1 can gone. Quite a big spout on the can, so it comes out a lot quicker than it would the hose. And it's 1 can at this time of the year between 3 plants. Watering's the same, 1 can between 3 plants. The plot gets watered and or fed at least 3 times a week this time of year, unless we get some serious rain. And it takes about 130 trips, so it's 130 watering cans, so that's about 70 trips backwards and forwards to the water butt. I'm going to back up again because I've got long legs. As far as feed that I'm using, this is the one I use, Universal. This is blue, which is a 323, which is a balance. The green is a high nitrogen, and the violet is a high potash. This will be the last balance feed that they're going to get. They're going to get the violet, which is a potash. And on this feed, I didn't do it then because I didn't have enough hands, I've been putting in a good capful of boost, which is along the lines of a tomato food, but it does have some other bits and pieces in there, including something that is a wetting agent to allow the soil or the compost to soak it up. It's primarily been developed for peat-free compost, but I mean, I like to mix things up and use different things, and I'll use tomato feed when I get onto it, but having a little bit of higher potash in this food is just a natural progression to the potash feeding. So that's how we do it. This empties quicker than I can, well, it doesn't fill up as quick as I can use it, so I have to pause every now and again, let it fill up and carry on. But that's where we're at. Get this done and then carry on with the bud taking. Friday the 2nd of August, realised I didn't do an end of day Wednesday. It took me 2 days to realise. Took a load of buds Wednesday, managed to get the first 6 through. So I think it was about 45 of the kiwi, which was surprising. 90 odd on the dark dyeing. I think I've just done 5 on the when I'm really just to compare them to the dark dyeing, but there'll be plenty there on the next take through, I hope. Looks like it, yeah, little buds sitting in there. Giants, gonna have plenty for about sorry time, and just hope I catch the national, because other than the first few early birds that turned up, they're a little way off. I think again they're in there, but could have done with a few more. It was 130 of the Marys, 60 of the Nels Trisha. Didn't do any of the water lilies. I'm going to try and skip those from the first show, as there's a few poor plants there. If I want any around national, and I'm going to have to delay it. I did do 1 just so I'm going to have a look and see if I'm wasting my time or not. As I said, 130 on the Marys. Some come from these beds as well. Giants are the same. I think it's about 80 from the softer gleams, most of these larger plants, and hopefully the next lot, which they should be from these smaller plants, are just about coming through, so they should follow on okay. And the same with the Skelmersdale Jane, 80 I think from there, most of which come from this row here. I literally secured every stem on the plants for the first sort of 8 or 9 plants. And the poms, after that last pinch back that you saw, there's buds coming through there. And I don't normally do the poms until 20 days before the first show, and then I take some that are a bit bigger. I may well secure the odd one like that, but not that many. But I'll just take everything that's there. Probably Wednesday will be the first opportunity. Need to do the second bud take Monday, so I'll go through again and do another take. But then Wednesday I'll probably spend 4 or 5 hours on this bed of poms just to get them in shape. And there we go. They're growing by the day. Morning, Wednesday the 7th of August. This will probably be the last video. I'll get this on either tonight or tomorrow, and then the next time you'll see me or see the plants will probably be as the covers go up and they start coming into flower. The kiwi are doing okay, they're good plants, I'm happy with them. I've got some good sized buds. Hopefully that'll be bank holiday weekend or thereabouts, and the rest are all following behind into these sort of stages. Just going to walk up the path because I can. So there's the kiwi. Good batch, they're all good plants, they're all the same size and varying stages of bud or not. I've had 2 goes of this budding. That was yesterday, Monday, and then Wednesday previous, and the next disbudding is Friday and Saturday this week, and they should take me hopefully to Wisley, and will be national buds or flowers. And it's probably shoots like this where they're just sitting in there that are going to be doing that, and there's a few still to take, certainly on this batch. This is a dark dine, although I have seen a few flowers on some plants that grew in pots that weren't so dark, so could have a bit of a mismatch here. And this is the bed that was stopped a week later than the other one. And these are the other dark dine, and these were stopped a week after, before the last plot. And we've got buds about that sort of stage, which I'm hoping might make bank holiday. I don't really want to waste any, but if I do, then I've got everything coming behind. I've taken about 160 die-ins from the 2 takes, if not slightly more. So there's a lot of flowers to come in that period, which should see me through. So these sort of buds being Abercorn show or slightly after maybe, but there's a good range of buds in there. This is the when I'm dying, and they were timed much like the first bed, so I really had my first take on these being Monday, so it's buds some I still haven't taken, so probably might have been a bit small a couple of days ago, but there's been about 80 secured on here like that, to follow on pretty much after the bank holiday. But again, they're a good bed of plants. I've had the second ties, some good strength in them. I think that's it. It's a nice straight, strong stems, should produce me some decent flowers. Onto the giants. This bed is a mixture of Aggie White going down that side and back up, and there's a few Louis on the end. These were later for me than I would have liked. got a few bigger buds over there on the brim, but I'm not sure that's going to make anything by bank holiday. But we'll not be far off soon after, and there's a lot to take in here. I don't try going sort of digging on the giants, but we've got some here that have yet to be secured. I'm hoping those sort of buds. There's be another one in there, and there are going to do me for Wisley, because there's plenty of plants here that will get me there. It's always to get this for the odd one or two with a brim family that just don't get away. They just are weaker and they just don't get propagated from until the next year. This half is a half Mary's, half Nurse Trisha. This plot bed was timed really for the earlier two shows, and I've pretty much secured every bud on these from that to that sort of stage, and that's somewhere around about 240 buds secured already on the Marys. There's 500 odd to go at, so there's plenty more to follow. And the Nurse Trisha, I didn't, as you would have heard previously, have confidence that the ones that I was trying to get out of the ground were going to flower or bud in time for the earlier shows. So I did this row here as a sort of standard stop. And of course this lot budded before I wanted them, and the ones like these budded pretty much perfectly for the earlier shows through. So I've secured a lot of these buds. There's one more go through on these, and there'll be generally some knockbacks like that, and that hopefully will get me to Wisley with a vase. And then I've got the giants then as well, so they're looking alright. They're all 5 up. Should possibly gone a 4 up, but I've gone 5 with some hope that my growing and the technique might give me a nice refined flower that's of a decent size, not just an oversized medium, which we'll find out later on that one. Sandia Gold, it's about the best plant amongst them, and I've just started to go through and take them down to just sort of buds in the shoots and tiny buds. I don't really need them for any other show other than Wisley, and don't even need them for that, but there's no point trying to spread poor plants over a wide area. This is the rest of the Marys. They're ready for another tie really, and hopefully get that done today. And I've just sort of got into these now for as the back end of the second take, and then the rest of them for the season will come from these. Just go up here, we've got the biggest, earliest buds on the plot. I knew they was all following behind, so these were the earlier ones that of Bryn-Terfel that I just secured, and hopefully they'll be decent. I've gone 4 up this year on the giants. I hope that I'll still get some good size, but might just get a little bit tidier form on them for championship classes. And we're at the same stage with the buds all pretty much about there. It's taking a while, but we'll get there. This is the light and soft to gleam. Don't think I'll do these in 2 batches next year. The second batch always seems to be further delayed than it should be, and that's these lower plants here. Although they are budding now, and I've secured some buds, but they're budding on a shorter plant. The earlier stops, albeit some of these like that have took a knockback. They're generally budding on a higher, stronger plant. So lesson learnt there. I thought it was just me last year messing it up, but it'll be an end of June, very end of June double stop, and just let them all come, and I'll deal with them on a knockback. Again, we've secured, as you can see, plenty of buds. Skimsdale Jane, same principle really. I think I just need to do them all in one go and put the extra work in on the knockbacks, but I've probably secured about 160 on these. But the later plants like those are going to be about right for Wisley, and they've just about got buds in them, or not far away. But they're just a bit up and down, and I suppose it doesn't really matter as long as they flower at the right time, but it just looks nicer when they're all the same. Poms, and bits of string on top. I tend to spud these now. Ideally would have been a couple of days ago, so I'm securing some larger buds. It doesn't really matter if you have a few coming out before, at least it gives you an idea of when the what size they're coming. But it's a good hedge. This is obviously go at the twilight, good hedge of plants, and then I secure the buds in one go, and then I'll go through again next week and I'll secure the next lot of buds, and then take the calyxes off all the ones I did this week. So it's quite a big task. But then once I've done the buds, so that one's been side disbudded, there's probably about 15 buds on that one, and then tie it up like that, which pushes them together, and that'll probably be about the last tie, because that tends to push the buds up out of the foliage, and they'll get a good drink as well today as I'm going along. But it's going to be about a 4-hour task, and hopefully I'll show you what that looks like at the end of the day if it gets done. Just got to finish feeding now. Had some really hot temperatures the last couple of weeks, 26s, 28s, 29s and 30s. I haven't seen any rain of any consequence for a good couple of weeks or so, so watering's been 3 times a week. Feeding's now twice a week, or twice this week, because I've moved on to the potash. So there's a bit of balanced into potash. And they're doing well, I'm happy. Generally, as long as the flowers come out, the plants are well. See you when there's colour. Here we go, that's the palms done. Our first run through. All buds taken. Had another tie, as you can see, by a nice neat edge and a bit of space between them, and watered. So that last tie should just push those buds up, hopefully. Everything else has been fed. Had a good go through the Sandia Gold. That's my early bud, just to have a look at what it does look like on a healthy plant. But I just strip those out really, let them flower, see what happens. And the second batch of Marys have had another tie. Just going through the giants and finding all these buds, which is quite good. Right, see you in a couple of weeks' time.